is included, and there's an online, is that right, guys? Thank you. There's an online website that you get access to, that you go and we walk you through the book, word by word, slide by slide. You can access it whenever you want to, for as long as you want to. You get marketing templates, financial calculator, all of that, and a group call once a month to go over questions and all that stuff. To support VNARP for bringing us down, for the great content that we're bringing here, one new VNARP member will get that course for free today. Then we're also going to give away 3 months of our weekly coaching calls to 3 different people that are here today at the end of the room. But if you want the thing for free, the $1,000, 5 extra commissions free, you got to be a new VNARP member and you got to be signed up by the end of the event today. And you'll get it for free.
And someone asked me earlier, inside that
One
5X,
person will.
inside that 5X is the script that I use, that I cold call and going on. There's multiple different scripts that I use that's inside that book, okay? Someone asked me earlier in the break. That's everything I use in there, everything's in that book is what I use. The script, the calculator, how I identify what a good deal, ABC, all that is in that book, okay? All right, so you guys ready? All right, so listen. Now we're going to shift gear and we're going to talk about what I buy and all that kind of stuff, okay? So let me just reframe, let me just start with this. My end game right now is to own more rental property. My goal right now is to get to $1 million a month in passive income. I don't need to. My house and everything's free and clear, right? 25 grand, 30 grand a month right now, passive income. It's very comfortable to me, right? I mean, that paid for my Ferrari, that paid for my Rolls Royce, that paid for my living style, it paid for my shoes, you know what I mean? And then other than that, it's pretty much easy. So I just like to challenge myself to see how far can I push the envelope, okay? So for me, every day when I go out there, I always go out there and find deals where I can add more rental property to my portfolio. Does that make sense? So that's my end game, is to always find deal. If I go out there and find deal that can match the margin for rental, you know if it can fit a rental, it can fit a flip. But not every flip can meet a rental. Does that make sense? Okay? So my goal is to go out there and find more deals. Okay? The second thing I'm going to show you is, so that's the end game. So Mark and I are going to show you right now the type of property I buy. I don't buy anything on market. I buy everything that's value added from single family to multi-family. Okay? And then, since I don't have investors, I have to make my own money. So I'm going to show you how I still make money so I can keep buying stuff without using an investor. I don't prefer to use an investor unless I do big deal like my 100-unit apartment building in downtown Oakland that we're building. So that's when I bring in an investor because they're more savvy people. But when I do flip to get investors, they're a pain in the ass to deal with them, right? Because they penny pincher and they worry about every little thing. I don't need that in my life. So I'm going to show you what kind of deal I buy, basically through this Burr model, the Thach Burr model. And then the second part of this conversation is how I still make money to buy these deals. And as a real estate agent or a wholesaler, you can do this too. Okay? All right, let's kick it off.
Let's do it. So, to execute the Burr strategy successfully, there's 3 things, and I'm going to throw a 4th in. I was having a conversation during the break. But what you really need to know how to do to execute the Burr strategy, what you need is $100,000.
At least $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay?
You may need to tweak the numbers a little bit. We're going to walk through a bunch of numbers, you guys. Hopefully it's not just a spreadsheet, so take comfort in that. But we're going to break down a bunch of numbers for you guys. But 100 grand. You may need to massage the numbers a little bit for your market, right? If we were in Detroit, you could probably do it with $1,000. But we're here, so maybe need 200. But the principles will hold true regardless of where you put the commas. You got to know what type of properties fit the Burr model.
That's it.
And how to find them. They're not generally on the market, right? That's the off market is where the opportunities are. And the last piece, and this is why we spend so much time on mindset skills in the beginning. You need mindset and mentorship from people who have been there. You don't have to recreate the wheel. This has been done for you. It's about executing what's already been created. And one thing we know is if you're in real estate already, you've got $1 million skill set. The reason most of us aren't earning $1 million is we got a $100,000 mindset. That's why we spend time talking about that, because we got to get out of our own way. We got to stop believing our old stories to start looking at what's new. What are we focusing on? What is possible? These are the 3 key things that you need. The 4th piece is being bankable. Go ahead. You want to throw something?
If there's anything you're going to take away today, number 2 is the most important. I want you to take away today. I said to someone in here earlier, he's a tech person. He's leaving the tech business tomorrow, and he's going to start doing real estate investing. And his friend is still working in the tech business. You don't even need $100,000 to assign deals. If you can master identifying what a good property that can fit a BRRRR or fit a good margin property, and you know how to find it, and you know the script to use and how to do a good job delivering the script, if you can find it and know what it is, you can make a lot of money without even touching and flipping a hammer, without even touching a hammer. The second thing that's the most important thing is you're going to need a mindset to actually make number 2 happen. Otherwise, your mindset will basically talk you out of it and you won't do it. So these 2 are important. But in actually to do the whole BRRRR model, these are the 3 key components. You need money, you need how to find the right deal, you need how to know what a good deal is, and you got to have the mindset that you got to shift it from becoming a realtor to a person that hold property. Okay?
So, what does BRRRR stand for? Buy it, purchase a fixer, rehab, add value. And I want to touch on this like every break, every event we do. What about pre-foreclosures? What about this? What about that? We are adding value. We are not teaching people how to go steal houses from little old ladies. That is not what this deal is. And we're going to show you some examples of that. But the opportunities we seek are about adding value. You realtors who are in the room, fiduciary responsibility. You can make great deals without stealing houses. But you got to understand how to find the opportunities. The rehab is where you add the value. Rent it out. Move in some tenants. Refinance it. You recapture your cash. You're recycling your money. That's why the categories of the BRRRR and hitting the metrics are important. And then repeat and do it again. That's what all the letters of the BRRRR stand for. Is that clear for everybody?
Make sense? Now, I'm going to say this. When someone brings me a deal, if it's not a fixer, I won't even buy it. You know why? I can't make no money on it. So if it's on the market and an agent called me, hey, Dad, I have a house that's listed, it look okay. First of all, it's on the market and it's not a fixer, it won't even meet the BRRRR model. To me, when I do a house, after I rehab it, this is the most important thing. I get all my money back out. All of it. I'm 100% leverage, and I can have lots of equity, and I got a lot of cash flow in it. That's how I can circulate this money over and over and over. The key is you gotta buy fixer. You gotta buy major fixer. You gotta buy property that you can add square footage. You actually gotta buy property that has unfinished basement. If you have unfinished basement, unfinished upstairs, house with large lot, they're all fixer. This is how you're gonna be able to get all your money out. This is why it's so important to know what this looks like. Most people, they just buy fixer to buy fixer and then flip them. And then they make their 30, 40 grand, pay on half of the money, they didn't make nothing. 20 years later, they still got nothing and they still flipping houses. That's a really sad model. And people have been doing it for years. Okay?
One thing before we change gears as well is just wholesalers or agents, we would ask that you don't start tying up deals on the MLS that you're not the buyer for or you don't have a buyer for. Because again, we're about coming from contribution, we're about adding value. And we're not about teaching people to go around damaging listings and damaging sellers. If you're a player, if you're an end user, and there's a deal on the market, go get after it. And if you decide it's better to assign it, but you're willing to take it down, then do that. But don't hurt the sellers and everybody else involved in the transaction by tying it up to try to spin it to somebody later on.
And let's be honest, if it's on the MLS, it ain't good anyway. If it's in it, there might be a little bit of skin left, not even no meat on that bone, right? The only time you can find lots of meat and lots of skin is you gotta find an off market, and it has to be a major fixer like I talked about, and some of the other criteria I just mentioned. Make sense? Okay?
All right, let's look at a little bit traditional versus the BRRRR, the new school. So traditional deal, you're buying it at market value, right? Comes on the MLS, keyword investor, great cash flow, blah, blah, blah. You need a big down payment. There's some great lenders in the room. I had a chance to talk to them in the back. But generally, for a non-owner property, you're going to need 25 to 35% down payment on that property to get conventional financing on it. So
And minimum, even cash flow.
yeah, and we're trying to get it to cash flow is a whole other thing. Some people believe in negative cash flowing properties, which we think you spend money on hobbies and investments, pay your money, so we don't do negative cash flow income properties. But then your money is tied up in the property. And we're going to talk through an example of that. This is the reason why we like the new school, why we think that there's a better way. You're buying it at a discounted price. Again, we're not stealing houses from little old ladies. We'll show you what that looks like in a minute. You need less cash for your down payment, right? Cash is a huge hurdle for everybody who wants to become an investor.
Everybody. And that's the reason why so many people, since they don't do the new school, you know what they do? They go raise investors' money. The sad thing is, you ain't even done enough project. You don't even have enough experience. You haven't even failed in your face enough yet to even have credibility to even handle someone's money. Shame on you if you're out there and you're raising money. I'm not knocking you, but all I'm saying is you haven't done enough property to have enough flipping. You haven't fell in your face and had enough bruises. Don't take people's money because you're hurting them, especially your own family member. And I see a lot of that going on right now. A lot.
Definitely. We would say be super careful partnering up. Now, I would classify a hard money lender as a partner, but they're a sophisticated player in the game.
That's right.
Somebody who's giving you their 401k, their self-directed 401k, whatever it is, you're playing with their retirement funds and they're trusting you to make something happen. That's a very different animal. And it's one thing to lose your own money. Like, I still pay tuition. The last single-family house I built and exited out of in Seattle cost me $15,000 in a rising market, cash to close. Like, I still pay tuition. You want to have an uncomfortable conversation? Call your aunt and tell them you just lost all their fucking money. That's a hard conversation to have.
Hard.
Make the money. We're going to teach you how to make the money, to do it on your own, to have your own control.
Before I learned about the new school, you guys, here's how I bought all my rental property in my early career. This is what, if you're a real estate agent, you're selling most of the property to your investor, traditional property. It's on the market, most of them. You sell it to a rich Asian person from China, right? The property at this price, it might need a little bit of paint, right? They put down 50% cash and they cash flow. You think, wow. And then you see them 10 years later and that property, it went double. You go, man, they made a lot of money. But was that really a good deal? No. What I'm going to show you is the new school, what I'm buying, and I'm making hundreds of thousands and millions up front. Then the appreciation kicks in later. And they cash flow with very little money. Matter of fact, most of them cash flow with no money in the project at all at the end of the day. This is the stuff that we want to teach you. And the only reason why a lot of people don't do it, I'm going to tell you why. Because you don't believe it's possible. That's it. I'm going to keep drilling down to you. This Vietnamese kid who came from Vietnam with one suitcase at $100, graduated from high school with 2.85 GPA. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm the lighthouse for you guys. I'm going to beam the light, and if you want to actually do it, come to the light. I'll show you how to do it. I'm going to show you everything I'll do today.
So here's an example of a typical deal on the market. Again, pay attention to the principle, the theory, not necessarily the numbers, because they're probably a little bit different down here. But in Seattle, buying a house like this is $700,000. Okay? Got to put 35% down. That's $260,000 to qualify for the loan and to get it to cash flow in the Seattle market. Again, we're trying to hit both. Your minimum loan qualifications may be 25% down, but we want positive cash flow as well. Because if something happens with our level one income, we don't want to have to be bringing 50 other checks and subsidizing thousands of dollars in rental properties every month. Okay? So this is part of the standard that we talk about. The properties need to have positive cash flow every month. Mortgage is going to be $3,000. Your rent's $3,200. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
So you're basically break even on rent. You're buying your equity, right? On your balance sheet, what you're talking to your lender about, you got $250,000 in equity and net worth, but you just transferred it from a bank to a property. It doesn't increase. It's just there. Time is going to do some heavy lifting for you for sure. But you're trading $250,000 for $200 a month in rental income. Does everybody understand that?
Does that make sense? Now, I was buying a lot of property like this in my early career. Of course, the down payment was less back then because the house only cost $105,000, and you can buy 10% down. The problem is that for me to buy a lot of property, I have to keep having 10% of 100,000, which is like 10, 15 grand. I have to have a lot of those to keep buying and buying and buying. Does that make sense? Today, if anyone with you want to buy a rental property and you did the old traditional way, you have to come up with $260,000 to buy your house just to break even. But Mark said you transfer them from one bank account into your house. And then you got to wait until you accumulate another $260,000 and then you can do it again. Does that make sense? This is how America is buying rental property every single day. It's normal. This is how most Chinese people buy rental properties in the United States. But here's the thing. Here's the difference between them and us. They got endless amount of money. They can do this. If you don't have endless amount of money like me, you got to get smart and do what I learned from trial and error, which is the new school. So far, do you guys understand this old traditional model? This makes sense? Who don't understand it, raise your hand. Please. You gotta get this? This is on the market, MLS. This is what you can buy in Seattle when it's finished. Okay?
And this is a great way to go. If you got hedge fund problems like Thach is talking about, and you got more money than time, and you want to park it and diversify, that's great. When the Invitation Homes came into the market where we were, I know they're buying all across the country, right? Billions of dollars in the collapse, and they were paying retail for houses in 2009, 2010, 2011. It's like, what the hell are these guys doing? They're crazy. Well, they were playing a long game, right? All of the flippers and the developers are playing a 6-month, 1-year game. They're playing a 10-year game, 15-year game. Their retail prices in 2010 look great. But they would be kicking their own asses if they understood the way that they actually could have done it with the cash that they had available to deploy. Let's talk about the BRRRR strategy and what is the difference. Again, we need value add properties, right? Same house, but this place is beat up on the inside. Nobody's moving right into this place.
This
it's
house
not
right
conventionally
here,
financeable.
This house right here, if anybody knows Seattle, is in an area called Beacon Hill. Okay, up on Beacon Hill. And the first house I showed you was a house that was finished in Beacon Hill. That's worth $700,000. This house I bought as a fixer. Linda, you gotta know this house, so we went to this house. Okay.
So not conventionally financeable. It's totally beat up. This is where you can add value, right? They could sell it on the market, but it's going to be priced accordingly. This is what it got turned into, right? Beautiful new kitchen, totally modern and updated. Let's look at the numbers.
Now, Mark, when you go back to the open picture, I'm going to show you something real quick. Now, I'm going to show you something, okay? This is the difference in me, Jeff, because I know this, I did it for a while. When I went into this house had one bedroom over here and a bedroom in the back and a living room. So it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and the upstairs 800 square feet. And that's how it looked like in the main floor. What I don't have is a picture of the basement. That is a concrete basement with dirt. And the ceiling was about this high. There was no stairs that go from the inside downstairs, so you had to go outside, like a typical house in Seattle, and you go in from the outside. Does that make sense? So, when I walked in, I seen this. I said, I'm going to create a lot of value out of this house. Because I can turn this 2-bedroom, 1-bath house into a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. The biggest challenge was the ceiling height. Because it was low, and there was no stair to go in from upstairs downstairs. Does that make sense? Since I've been doing it for a long time, I can see, here's the great deal. What I did was, I dropped the cement floor. If you need any guy, you're a contractor, I dropped it a foot into the ground. So I created without jacking the house up. Pretty smart, huh? Right? Since I was reconfiguring the upstairs, I reconfigured the kitchen and everything, so I created a staircase to go down into the basement. So since now I had a high ceiling basement with a staircase, then I added the 2-bedroom and the bath downstairs, and I turned this into a 2-bedroom up, 2-bedroom down. Make sense? Now I got 1,600 square feet versus 800 square feet. This is identifying a good deal. Most people walk in it and they see old junk house with a low ceiling. Now do the numbers.
Well, that's so important because it ties back to the end game, right? He doesn't look at it, where is the house right now? Not where am I sitting right now? What's the end game for this house? What could it be? What could the destination of this house be? That's the power of having a different perspective, of having imagination, of knowing your market and being an expert. Then you can take that same house and buy it for $425,000.
Now as Mark.
Oh, sorry, 285,000.
I bought this house, you guys. Remember, the other house over 700 grand, right? I bought this fixer as a $285,000 fixer. Someone might say, well, man, that's a great deal. But I'm only buying 2-bedroom, 1-bath, unfinished, low-ceiling house. So I didn't steal the house from the owner. I just bought a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. Does that make sense? With a low-ceiling basement, which is worth nothing. So that 285, some people go, that's a great deal. It's a great deal because after I explain it to you now, you think it's a great deal now. Make sense? It cost me 140 grand to rehab the whole house and drop the basement.
On that 285, again, we're not talking about stealing a house. That house would trade on the market at about 315. They're going to have to pay agent commissions. There's going to be inspection items. There's going to be other stuff. So really, that's about a $15,000 discount. The seller, our sellers are like, I don't want to deal with the headache. I don't want to go on the market. I don't want to do any of that. Keep it easy. Bring me a check for this, and we're done. That's what it is.
Now, let me say this, because somebody's going to ask this question, and then Mark is going to run the number. I got him from cold calling. And he was dealing with cancer. And he said, my house is messy. I don't want nobody walking in it. It's embarrassing. I'm on the tube, right? If you can actually get me 290 grand for this house, as is without going on the market, I'm willing to sell it. I offered him 280 for the house. We came at 285. Remember, if someone says, I don't want to go on the market because all these reasons, you're not taking advantage of the owner. That's what the owner wants. It's different to go, I know my house is beat up. I want maximum dollar. Can you expose it on the MLS so I can see how many multiple offers I can get? Then I would have done that for the guy. See the difference? Okay? In this situation, the owner, that's what he wanted. I respect that. He wanted to make it easy, make it quick. As is, he had a lot of junk. I just took care of all the junk. I let him stay there for a month for free after the house closed. He didn't have time to move to Arizona. Make sense?
So I've seen a couple questions. I see you. We got a lot to try to get over. I'm going to try to roll through. Please hold your questions. We'll try to get to them at the end. You can come find us afterwards. Or if you can't do that, Facebook, our free Facebook group is a great spot for questions. We love them there, and we can share the information. Do you guys remember how much we had to put down on the regular rental?
260, right?
That's $260,000, right? $250,000. This deal's done with $85,000.
You know where 85 grand come from, guys? For the hard money, you're in the house. You take the purchase price, you take the rehab price, 20% of that. That's how hard money works.
Got hold them.
Right? Take 285, what I purchased the property for, what it costs to rehab it, you add the two together, which is 425, and all I had to put down to get hard money lender was 20% of 425. So I only had to have 80 grand to do this house, to get in the front door. Make sense? That's it. Not 260 grand. Now keep going, Mark, so you can see the big picture of this.
So you can do almost three at once. The ARV of this is $700,000, just like the other property, but the permanent mortgage is the monthly payment is $3,000 on this property. So instead of $200 a month in cash flow, you got $500 a month in cash flow.
And I rented it for more because it's all brand new home.
Yep. And $275,000 in equity was created
off of one deal, a single house.
That's not a balance sheet transfer. That's equity created in this deal. $6,000 a year cash flow. All the cash came back. If he never did another deal, the cash on cash return is infinity when he applies permanent financing.
Everything, 140 grand, everything. 140,000 with the whole entire shebang on what it costs to rehab that. Okay? Now I want to just repeat this. Watch. This 275,000 was not a transfer from one bank account into a rental house. That is built-in equity for me rehabbing the house. So I made $275,000 off of $80,000. And here's the great thing. Since I didn't have to sell it, I don't have to pay Uncle Sam any of that $275,000. And I get to add another property to my portfolio, getting cash flow. After I refinance, put in a 30-year fix, I got a loan for $425. It got appraised for $700. I didn't want all my money. I just wanted $425 so I could give back the hard money lender their 80%, and I put back my 80 back in my pocket. Does that make sense? So I got my 80 grand back. The hard money got their money back. Now I'm zero in the property. I got $275,000 equity on this property with no money in and it's positive cash flow. I want to demonstrate to you. This is a simple single-family house. Simple. I'm doing this on a townhouse site. I'm doing this on an apartment building. I do this whole model all across everything I do. Okay? We're going to show you some other on some of the other projects. Does this make sense what I'm showing you? You can do it down here the exact same way. You just got to know what to buy. That's it. You just got to know what to buy.
So here's the formula for a BRRRR. There's really two kinds of BRRRRs. We strive for the full BRRRR. You get 100% of your acquisition and rehab money back and $500 a month in cash flow. Okay? All your cash comes back and $500 a month in cash flow. That's the target state. That or something better, as we like to say. To hit this, the ARV, the after repaired value, your acquisition and your construction budget need to be 70% of that or less.
Or less.
Okay?
Does that make sense?
Purchase, right? It's not a bad deal. For us, if it's less than that, it's a flip. We'll take the capital and go find a better BRRRR deal.
That's right. Now, let me say this. When I started, no one taught me this. So I was just buying just to buy. Today, this is my measuring stick. If something don't add up to at least 70% and less on ARV, I ask myself, do I want to keep this property? Or do I want to just take it and just fix it up and then flip it away? Or if you're not a flipper, with all that margin, you can assign it and make 50, 75, 100 grand. Someone will buy it from you. So everything I do, it always has to be 70% of ARV and less. My goal is to try to buy property between 60 and 70% of ARV. So I can really, really create a lot of equity. Look, that single family home, that's just a single family 1,600 square foot home that had $275,000 in equity off of one house. Now I'm gonna shift gear real quick and ask you this question. Jeff, how many houses would you have to sell to make $275,000 in commission? 10. That house, I did that in 4 months. I'm not saying to Jeff, don't sell real estate. I'm saying these are supplements to the real estate commission business that you're doing. You just got to know what to buy. This is a new standard that I want all you guys in this room, all the people we coach, that's your new standard. If you find a deal that's 75% of ARV, you still better than everybody on the street. Most people on the street, they're buying property at 85 to 90% of ARV on the street right now. That's how sad it is. You know why? Because no one has taught them the new standard. Okay?
So, does that seem like a pretty good deal to you guys? 85 grand invested. 4 to 6 months later, you got 275,000 in equity and $500 a month in cash flow, and you're 85 grand back. Is that a pretty good deal?
Who would do that deal? Raise your hand. Okay, good. We're all on the same page.
Well, let's talk about real estate over time real quick.
This is the same house. This is what's going to happen in 20 years with that same house.
So these are the numbers right now. If we invested 100 grand, we created 275,000 in equity, got 6 grand in passive income that year, total of 281,000 in wealth created. Okay, 6 grand in income, 275,000 in equity. 10 years later, no more cash has been invested because you got it out. 0 cash invested in the deal. But real estate appreciates over time. That $700,000 asset is now worth almost $1.4 million. If you never paid any principal on it, if you had a 10-year interest-only note on that property, it's turned you into a millionaire. 85 grand into $1 million in 10 years. You've now made $60,000 in passive income from your 85 grand. 20 years, $2.4 million from one property.
Is that crazy?
Well,
Off a single family house. I own houses today, that's 20 years. So I can tell you, I'm going to keep the house for 20 years unless I'm going to 1031 it into something bigger and better. Okay? Here's what's so crazy, you guys. the compound of this. All you gotta do is find a good deal, hold it, rent it, let somebody pay the mortgage. 20 years from now, it's worth 2.4. Let me say this to you. I'm gonna add this, it's down on the slide. There is 3 ingredients that also make up a BRRRR. 1, you have to buy that 7% rule. 2, it has to be in the area where the rent is high so it can cover the mortgage if you pull all your money out and get $500. 3, my standard, it has to be in a location where it double every 10 years. So all my property is slowly in an area where it double every 10 years. So I mean that every 10 years this thing double, that is $2.4 million off of no money. Originally started with 80 grand, but I get my money back. 20 years later, $2.4 million in net worth from a simple little single family home.
So it's one property, but it takes 4 to 6 months to do it. So how do you get one house in 10 years? We talked about 10 houses in 5 years. Well, it only takes 4 to 6 months to do it. So you turn that money again. Now you get 2 in 10 years. Double these numbers. But if you did it 10 times, steal from Uncle G, 10x this shit. That's what happens. That's how powerful this is. It's right here. It's happening. And this isn't even the best deal we're going to tell you guys about today.
Think about this, guys. If you can get 100 grand from your real estate, Jeff, and you can cycle that twice a year, then you get 2 of them in 1 year. The next year after that, you got a little cash, you might come up with 200 grand at one time. You can do 2 of them at one time. You can do 4 of them in 1 year. See how fast it is? If you have a reason to go get the money and you know what to go find and why to do this, you can actually get to 10 property. You can get to your 7 door. Remember we talked about earlier? You can accumulate your 7 doors in less than 5 years. I'm not saying pay it off yet. You can accumulate it. Okay? Once you accumulate the 7 doors, next time you ever get a deal like this, sell it. Take your $275,000, pay Uncle Sam his money, take that chunk and start paying down your 7 doors. Now you're paying it down chunks at a time. So instead of keeping it, you don't need to keep it now. Get them paid off so you can get out of the rat race. Because those deals are so good, you can actually have so much equity, you can just dump them down on your mortgage and you can get out of the rat race quick. And that's what I learned to do. Then I started to buy more property. Today I'm buying a lot more property. So we're going to show you now, we're going to shift gear. Does this make sense what I'm buying right now? I'm going to show you another performer here whereby I do it on multifamily here in a minute. But in this same conversation right now, we're going to show you how to get 100 grand. All right? How to do this deal right now. Okay? Yes. No, when I fix and flip these, I keep them. I don't sell them. Whenever I sell it, I will do a 1031. Yes. Okay? Good question. Okay.
Sorry, we do got a whole lot of questions. I don't want to break the seal on that because we got a lot of ground to cover still. So the $100,000 is generally the biggest thing that stops people. The first thing is the mindset. They don't think it's possible. They don't think how. That's why we spend a lot of time on that. The next piece is the $100,000. How do I get that? How do I do it as found money? How do I get more efficient? Because I still got to keep the lights on. I got to buy some shoes if I'm Linda. How do I get this money to go play with?
And I want to recommend to you is to really discipline yourself. If you're new at the game, don't go raise 100 grand. Go and work for the 100 grand and do it yourself and fail on your face and lose your own 100 grand. Okay? Because you're going to learn a lot more losing your own money than losing someone else's money. So go get your 100 grand. We're going to teach you how to get 100 grand right now. Okay?
Partnerships can be great. We talk about them on Facebook. I'm going to skip right through the coaching stuff slide because I want to keep moving. But they're risky, and especially in BRRRRs. Like, don't do it. If you want to know why, come in the Facebook group, ask a question. I'll tell you about it. We don't have time today. So how do we get this 100 grand? We've been talking all day about your level 1 business, right? Whether you're in technology right now, like keep making money, keep doing that. Whether you're a regular real estate agent, you're putting buyers in the car and signs in the ground. Keep doing that. But start looking for these new opportunities. Start exercising the right of first refusal. Start getting creative.
Now, let me say this. When I was talking to you, bro, he asked me, I do real estate. How is this going to help me? If you're working with buyers, you still show how is a buyer. How they helping people sell their home. if I can teach you how to go find that house that I just bought, if I can teach you how to find, how to identify, how to evaluate it, the script you use to call those, between time when you out showing houses and seeing a seller, you go out there and you find out where all those houses in your area, you're going to start cold calling them or you're going to door knock them. And you want to find these. Okay? I'm going to show you what's going to happen when you find these properties as a wholesaler or a realtor. Okay?
So normal, old school business, agents again, wholesalers supply the commission where you want. Find a $300,000 deal. Again, add zeros, whatever you guys need to make the numbers relative here. Find a $300,000 deal. That's a $9,000 commission check for a typical agent, one side of the deal. We get that check. We're excited, right? We go out to dinner. Maybe we party down on the weekend. We wake up Monday hungover and climb the hill again. You can make a lot of money. You can be super rich selling real estate. You made $1 million selling $80,000 houses. That's the cycle most people are on. We want to take advantage of leverage. We want to create better relationships. You find that deal and sell it to an investor. You get $9,000 on the front, normal business, but you're going to get the list back. You don't have to market it. You don't have to track it down. You don't have to do any of that. But you got to find a good deal and bring it to them to get the list back. You got $600,000 in your pipeline, $18,000 commission. Down here, maybe that's $1 million, $1.2 million, $1.5 million, much bigger numbers. That's in your pipeline. Everybody I know is sleeping better with $20,000 to $50,000 in their pipeline, especially when they start stacking it up. And when you do good business, like we know you guys do, you turn $9,000 into 27, but you're going to find another buyer. You're going to double end it. You're going to do something else. That $9,000 check turns into $40,000 with no additional marketing, no additional listing appointments, no additional CMAs, none of that. Take that $30,000 off the table.
Now, let me say this to you guys. I still do this in my business, my residential business. When I find a fixer I don't like, I sell it to an investor. A lot of time, I get 6% on the house. Because the owner tells me, hey, $300,000 is what I want, 6%. I will basically give my 6% and I sell it. I double ended it, right? I sell it to an investor. When he get done rehabbing, I'm going to get my list backs on it. As soon as I list the property, I do circle prospecting, send out flyers, just list it at home. Anybody want to list it, sell their house or buy a house, I always get another person. I still do this to keep bringing money through the front door so I can buy more property. So when I told you guys I was doing 10, 15 listing a month, imagine 10, 15 listing a month, Jeff. I do it for the purpose of have more money so I can buy more property. Because I want to have a few $100,000 going at one time so I can actually do 3 or 4 of them every 6 months. This is the thing real estate agent step over. Because you was taught to go out there and show houses. If you're showing houses and you drive by a fixer, what do? You never stop. You don't even know what the scripture said to a seller to walk up to their house if you saw a fixer-upper. And most agents don't list property, so since they don't list property, they don't even know what to say to a seller. They walk up to their house and ask them. This is where the money is. If you're a real estate agent or a wholesaler, you got to learn how to identify where this is at, and you got to go find them. Because if you do, David, you're not in real estate. If you can find these, my friend, you can make more money than working at your corporate business all day. This is what everybody do not do right here. There is all that is at the bottom of the ocean. So little people play in this category. And I tell you, let me ask you this question. Why do you think people don't go down there and go get them? Somebody shout it out. What do you think? Jeff, what do you think?
Fear.
Fear of what?
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. What else?
Rejection.
Huh? Mindset.
Yeah, rejection.
What kind of rejection?
Oh, like looking like trying to scam a little old lady.
That's right. Anybody else? Why would they not do it? Knowing the potential there.
Fear of cold calling.
Fear of cold calling. You're door knocking. Right? Anybody else over here? It's all true. Now, remember we said earlier? What if you wanted to retire your mom and dad? Would you do it then? Yes, you would, right? This is why I said to you, you got to have a big why you're doing it. Because when it's time to put the meat, hit the road, this is where you got to do the work. Unless your why is real high, you ain't going to go door knock that house. But you know what? There's so much money. There's more money in that house than there is in selling real estate. But you want to work 8, 9, 10, 20 hours a day in real estate, well, you won't go door knock this. That's crazy.
This is where the real power is. And this is a great way to get sellers. Because some of them are deals and some of them are just listings. But almost everybody agreed that listings were better earlier. Prospect for houses like this. If it's not a deal, list it. That's your consolation prize. Listings just became your consolation prize.
This is the next level here. When you know where these opportunities are at, you can make a lot of money as an investor, and you can make a lot of money as a real estate agent and a wholesaler. This is what I spend a lot of my time in Seattle right now, going after these multi-family type of zoning. Okay, Mark?
So this is LA County zoning, RD 1.5, 1,000 square feet, 4 units, 1 unit every 1,500 square feet. More valuable piece of land, $500,000 sale, right? Now you got a $15,000 commission. Maybe you go to Vegas for the weekend, buy some new shoes, come back, climb the hill again. That's what most people do. That's fine. We want you guys to break free of the commission coaster. Get out of the cycle. Be disciplined. Be strategic. Sleep better. Get to freedom. That $15,000 deal turns into 4 listbacks for you.
See that? Yeah.
That house becomes 4 properties in the pipeline. That's $72,000 at $600,000 in the pipeline. Are you feeling better? If you're finding one of these a month, that's going to finish a month and a month and a month when they start coming back in like a year. Every month you got 4 new listings in the pipeline in a year. Are you feeling better about your business? Are you feeling more confident? Is your lender and your accountant more excited about giving you bankable financing because you're starting to document this and start stacking these chips? Just pick up one more deal out of those. You got 4 opportunities for open houses. You got 4 opportunities to double end. You got 4 opportunities to circle prospect. Just pick one more. You turn that shitty little house into $105,000. This is where you start getting the money to take off the table. Keep doing your regular business.
Keep doing your business.
Keep working your sphere. Keep doing all the stuff that you're already doing. And when you find these, take advantage of them.
Evan,
set that money aside.
I'm going to ask Evan this question. Evan, yes, sir. Where in the San Jose area where it has multi-unit zoning, where you can do multi-unit townhouses?
95122, 95125, 9126. These are downtown area. There's a lot of R2 zoning. Mm-hmm. With R2, or they're not R2, San Jose is actually very in favor of ADU now. So if you have an R1 zoning, you can drop 800 square feet in the back, and that would immediately increase value.
See? Imagine you found a small fixture with an unfinished basement on a ADU lot with a big lot in the back. Could you actually create all that, and then could that value be real high? That's another way of doing it. What I want to point to you here is this. I drove down Scott Street, and I told Mark, look at all those multi-unit on both sides of the streets. Duplexes, triplexes. And I said to Mark, look at that beat-up duplex. I bet you that duplex right there, you can either A, buy, rehab it, and then have 2 nice listings, or you can tear it down. If the zone is high enough, you can put 4 of them on that same lot. This is where you want to accelerate and make a lot of commission. This is where you can make it right here. Lots. This is what I do a lot in Seattle. If I don't like the lot for whatever reason, I still get the contract and I sell it to another builder so I can get a list back on all the back end of it, so I can make more money on the back end. This is power. Right now, we're teaching a lot of people to do this in the suburb area. Right now in LA County, and they're right now doing a lot of this. My friend Danny doing a lot of this right now. Danny Navarro, you know him. He's doing a lot of this right now. So guys and gals, where is it in your area? This is where I want how you think now. Where is it in your area? Okay? Who is that I drove up in Sacramento? Okay? Where is it in Sacramento? Where is it in your area where the zoning, you can put multi-unit on there? This is where the research comes. This is where when they spend time with me in Seattle, I said, you got to know the research in your area so you can maximize finding good deals. And this is what we were talking about when we was in Seattle, right?
And every major metro has this type of zoning. They call it different things, but everybody is fighting density. Everybody wants more in-city infill, less traffic, more transit. It's everywhere. It is around you. If you're in a decent-sized town, you got more than 4 stoplights, you should have an opportunity for high density in your municipality.
Now, let me say this to you. In a minute, you're going to see a slide. When I do BRRRR to keep, I do single-family BRRRR. When I do new construction, I don't do new construction single-family home to BRRRR because the number doesn't make any sense. It's hard to get all in 7% ARV. So in Seattle, I go find these type of zoning to build townhouses in the area that have good high rent and good appreciation. And I find these land in Seattle and I build them out and I keep them. I get all my money out on all these townhouses. So I know where to find those property. I know what to look for. So when I go find them, I find these type of property and I keep them and I build them out and I put all my money out on this. You're going to see a deal that I just bought from a real estate agent friend of mine who brought it to me, right? And I'm going to show you from perspective as an investor. I'm going to show you the perspective of my friend Grant who brought it to me, how much money he's making off of one transaction, okay?
So, it's easier than you think to work with builders and investors, you guys. Let me back that up a little bit. You only got to know a few things. And I was talking to Flipper investor during the break, and I'm not going to out him, but he's like, dude, I never see good deals from real estate agents. That's why the hell we're teaching this. We got tired of agents sending us deals that were not deals. We're teaching you what investors want to buy, what builders and developers want to buy. We've done this in multiple states. He's doing it in Washington and California. I've done it in Washington, Oregon. We've taught people how to do this across the country. The principles work. You got to know how to put them to work for you. You got to find the right deals, right? Off market, on market again. Another problem with them, there's already so many cooks in the kitchen. Get direct to the seller. It's a more efficient deal. You got to know how to evaluate them. Is it a deal or is it a listing? It's a pretty easy formula when you know what to do. What to say to sellers, to structure them, to make them enticing for the investors that want to pull the trigger on them, and then how to present them to a builder or an investor. That's all the stuff that we teach. But that's all you need to know.
Remember I showed you about the 5X? The 5X is all that. That's why we create the whole package. That's why, you know what I mean, we made it easy for people, okay?
So what do you look for when you're trying to find them?
Here is some idea for you guys right here, okay? Take a picture of this.
We wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks. There's a lot more. We got a list of like 25 ways to find off-market deals. Off-market, direct from the seller, is the best way to do it, especially for you guys wanting to buy deals for yourself. That's the end game. You guys buying your own deals at the best value that you can get. Going direct to sellers where you're going to do that. You're cutting out the middleman. Title lists, code violations, probate lists can get you there. Somebody asked me about foreclosures at the break. There's a law in Washington that makes going after pre-foreclosures super risky, so almost nobody does it. So we don't even talk about that, but that's an opportunity. The best way that we found is what we call bird dogging or driving for dollars. Driving around and just seeing the properties and singling them out.
But here's the thing, what's so crazy. When's the last time you saw a beat up house and you actually stopped? Right?
Yesterday.
Okay, now watch this. I'm going to say this to you, okay? I want you guys to really think about this, okay? I'm going to test you today, okay? I want all you guys to think in your mind an old junk house with a blue tarp with twinkle blind, that's what Mark call it.
That's right, blue
High
tarp,
grass,
twinkle blinds.
junk cars in the driveway, okay? You got all seen one of those before, right? I want you to say this today. Until tomorrow morning, I want to see one of those houses. Okay? Say that as your intention. I promise you, we set the intention, you'll see it. Have you ever noticed when you decided you're going to go buy a new Honda or new Mercedes-Benz, whatever model it is, whatever color you want, the moment you decide you're going to buy the car, do you not see the car? Yeah. Actually, your neighbor got one of those. You never noticed it. That's to show you how unaware it is. Things around you. Because no one showed you what it looked like. We want you to teach you everywhere you go, you should keep your eye open. That's where all the good deals on the streets. No title list, no anything. This is the best way to find it right here.
We got one of our guys, Grant, who you talked about a minute ago. He just grid drove markets he wanted to work in Seattle. He found 1,600 opportunities just driving up and down the streets. It's not a problem that there's no goddamn opportunities. You don't believe there are.
And you
don't
need to
even
work.
look for them.
And people are scared of fear rejection.
Mm-hmm. Ideal is older homes, unfinished square footage.
That's right.
And in bad shape. Like really bad shape. We're not joking. Blue tarps, tweaker blinds, not conventionally financeable, right? Like they gotta look rough, like torn down. I don't want to go here. It should be in a Scooby-Doo movie. That's the house that you want to look for.
Yeah.
That's the most beautiful house on the block. That's what you want to find.
That's the one you want. The one that scare you, like getting out of the car, like, oh man, should I knock at this house? That's the one you want. Because no one else is going to knock it. If you're scared, believe me, somebody else is scared to knock in the house. Okay?
Houses on big lots are great opportunities. You
Big
start
lots.
paying attention when you're driving down the street, you're going to be like, house, space, house. Wait a minute, what? That could be a free lot right there.
That's right.
That you can create. And then look for areas where there's townhouse transitions. There's other market indicators that it just depends on where you are. But look, you start seeing guys start building townhouses, tearing one house down, and multiple units.
That's
start
it.
coming
That's
up.
the sign.
That's the neighborhood you want to be in.
That's right.
There's Seattle and Portland. There's all kinds of other leading indicators. The season's market comes in. There's a tattoo shop. There's a brewery, and there's a bike repair. This neighborhood's about to turn over. There's indicators like that you guys could see in your markets.
That makes
Keep an eye
sense.
out for that.
Remember, when we started this, we said to find a good deal, the standard for a good deal, what percent? 70. But just finding a fixer only sometime might not meet the 70%. You might have to find a house with a big lot. You might have to find a house in a zone where you can put an ADU in the back. You might have to find a house that you can put 2 houses in the back. These are ways how you can actually create high value. Find a house with, you can add, I think, is it Ricky? Actually, you added like another, how many square feet?
Added about 400.
He added 400 square feet to create the value to go up higher so we can get higher ARV on it. These are just ideas I'm teaching you how to so you can get to 7% ARV, folks. This is outside the box thinking. No one talks about that stuff.
The opportunities are out there if you're looking for
Now,
them.
before you say that, okay? If I was a buyer in your market, and I said, you guys, I'm a seasonal investor, I'm looking for deals. And all you guys are agent, wholesaler, and I told you, look, I got unlimited amount of money. I am needing to buy a lot of property. If you find them, bring it to me, I'll buy it. I'll give you all the list backs. We'll make it easy, make it quick. All you guys, right, are real estate wholesaler. If you knew someone's gonna buy it, and I taught you exactly what you need to go find, and you know I'm the end user buyer, would you go out to start hustling, to find some deal, and bring them to me so we can all make some money together? Hell yeah, you would. This is how crazy it is when we teach this stuff. So many people don't do it. Especially there's unlimited amount of buyer out there and unlimited amount of money out there. Right now, it's not a money problem. Would you agree? It's a deal problem right now on the street. But very few people are willing to do the work. Like I said, you ain't got a big why you want to go out there and door knock. You won't get your ass out of bed and go do it. Seriously. Okay? If your mom who's 67 years old, she's still working, and you ain't out there hustling, shame on you for letting your mom suffer.
And it's absolutely a deal problem right now. Like cash is everywhere. Lenders are everywhere. Stated income's coming back.
Is that true?
Very true.
See?
Deal flow is the problem, and you guys are the gatekeepers. That's where the value is. Take advantage of the incredible opportunity that you have and start looking at it and how to maximize it. When you guys look at this, what do you see? It's a little street view. There's a little house. There's an overhead picture. You can see what's going on.
See the house right here in the arrow?
It's
They look over like this house. If the bush trees in the way. This is the top of it right there.
It's a little bit of a rhetorical question, right? But most everybody's like, okay, that's a single family house. I'm going to list that. Some people are like, well, maybe there's a flip opportunity.
Yep.
Maybe it could be a rental.
Right.
Maybe we could finish out the basement.
The owner wanted $800,000 for this house. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, unfinished basement, and she wanted $800,000 for the property. Okay, so when she called me, she said, "I want $800,000, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, unfinished basement." Okay, I'm like, all right. So what can I do with this thing, right?
Let's see. What's the end game for this property? Most people focus on the listing. Some people focus on the flip or hold. We focus on what we want, and we find it because it's out there. That little house is turning into this.
Now, Linda and those guys know this property. This is a property I just got done. This is a 5-unit row house that I just finished doing in Seattle. This property, I'm in it $450,000 all in. It's worth $750,000 each. That's $300,000 in each equity. I got all my money out on this property. I cash flow $1,000 in every townhouse, 5 of them across. This project, I cash flow $5,000 a month, all my money out, and I got $1.5 million in equity in this property with no money. Now, I just done this. The property that you just see me do, the property that I just showed on 45th, I'm about to show you what I'm doing on that one. Watch. Zoning allow that. This is where I said earlier, remember? If you know where the zoning is happening, you go and you take advantage of this stuff. The people who understand it make all the money. This is what I can teach you guys how to do. Grant Cardone ain't teaching this stuff. Guaranteed. I've been to this stuff. He ain't teaching it. This is low-hanging fruit all day.
So this one's been done for about a year now.
Yep. A little less than a year.
Yep. And it's like, well, maybe that was a unicorn, but it's not. Here it is again. Seller wanted $800,000.
I got up at 790.
7 new units in this project. They're going to be 1,500 square feet apiece, 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths. They're going to be worth 7.5 each when they're done. Okay? The new units are going to rent for $3,500 a month each. The total value of the project when it's finished is $5.25 million. The rent when it's paid off will be $24,000 a month from the whole building. Everybody was happy between $20,000 and $25,000 a month in free income when we started this deal. One single family house can be turned into that, paid off free and clear. A buddy of ours, Jan, in Seattle, did to paying off your family, and what's possible here? He did this kind of strategy on a triplex. Create $150,000 in equity, $1,000 a month in positive cash flow, and his mom lives there free and clear, pays no rent. He gets paid $1,000 a month, $150,000 in equity, and she's dialed in and taken care of. That's how you can start taking advantage and creating opportunities when you go under the surface.
Now let's walk them through. Listen, this is the valuation calculator that we have in the 5X model when you guys are purchasing that stuff. Mark, walk them through. This is what it actually cost me to build this stuff. All right, Mark, you want to walk them through it?
Yeah. So, purchase price, it is $790.
That's how much I paid for the piece for the house.
Construction costs are $263 a square foot. That's hard and soft costs. Again, I'm not going to get way into the weeds. If we have time for questions, I'm happy to answer that. But just know that's an all-in construction number. Building 10,500 square feet. Total construction budget is $2.761 million. That's the total cost to build it. Add that to the cost of construction and the cost of purchase, and the total project costs are $3.55 million. Okay. Acquisition plus construction is total project cost. The finished value of the project is $5.25 million. Now we talked about how do you evaluate deals, how do you know if they make sense, how do you know if they're a good deal. There's standard metrics for builders on what they want to pay for land. The land price is one of them. The land cost as a percentage of finished value here is about 15%. Generally we want to be under 20-25. So that's there, but they're getting retail value for their house.
Now watch this. Normally, 20-25% of ARV is what a builder pays for land. Does that make sense? If a house is worth $1 million finish, they like to pay 20-25%, $200,000 to $250,000. Make sense? I only pay 15% for the land on the whole project of the whole entire end value. So you see, I'm already starting off making a lot of money already, just right off the bat, because I know how to create value. And this is not rocket science. This is simple. Any one of you in this room can learn this. This is not learning how to create a rocket ship to fly to the moon. You can learn how to do this. All right. Look how much equity. All right. Now, if I sell this, right, Mark, go ahead, keep going.
Yep. So the other metric that you want to know, and it's especially important on flips and burrs, and we've talked about it a number of times, but it's that next number, 68%. That's acquisition and construction as a percentage of finished value. This is a 68% deal. Want to be under 70 for a full burr, right? 75 for a partial. Some guys will do flips at 80. This is a great deal, but that's that other metric. This does the work for you. We run 9% sales costs because we're a little bit conservative and it's construction and something's going to happen. So that's 6% to the agents, 2% title excise escrow, and 1% something's going to happen. The net of that, if we were to sell it, 23% profit margin deal. $1.25 million in equity right here.
That's if I sell it. If I sell it, I got to pay all this sales fees and commission, everything, right? And all the sales tax and go Sam. But if I did sell it, I have $1.2 million in equity in that property with no money again. Mm-hmm. Look, all in, I'm at 68% of ARV. Everything I shoot for got to be 7% and less. Because I know how to find them. I know what to look for. I know how to create the value. This whole entire townhouse. Now, Mark, would you go back to the picture of all the houses on the block? I'm going to show you something, okay? See that one lot? I'm getting 7 out of it, right? I'm actually turning all 7 into rental. Look, I'm going to show you something. This is the house. The house that marked this circle in the blue, that's the house I bought for $790. It's going to close in about 45 days. The house to the right of that, I already own that house. That house, I paid $200,000 for the house. It was a major fixer. I put in $120,000, and I got that house looking good now. See these 2 houses? That's the last 2 houses on the block. Tomorrow, I'm writing an offer to buy the house for $750,000 from the lady, and she's already agreed on it already. And then this guy right here, he's a friend of hers, and he already knows me because I know the property. He said, "Thach, give me $900,000 for this." So this person right here, she wants $790, and she's willing. Listen to this. She's willing to close it a year from now. So I don't even have to even put any money down. They can plan a permit. So watch this. Watch the value of knowing what to look for. 7 unit, 7 unit, 7 unit, 7 unit, all on the whole entire block. Almost 30 unit on one block. All of it's going to be done with no money at the end of the day, and have over $1.2 million equity in every one of them, and have $1,000 cash flow in every unit with no money at the end of the day. If a 2.85 GPA Vietnamese guy came from Vietnam with no money, what is possible, folks? Okay? Now watch this. Watch the commission for my friend Grant. Even that I'm keeping it, I'm still going to pay Grant 3% for all of the listings, even though I'm going to keep it, because he deserves it. Okay? So I'm giving him 3% for everything.
We just got a time warning. Oh, yes. So we're going to move a little bit.
Is this good or what?
Old school, $790,000, $23,000 commission.
Done.
That's a nice deal. Everybody's happy. If it would have worked as a flip, the numbers were too tight. It didn't work, but you would have got another $28,500. That would have turned into $52,000 in total commissions. That's a good day at the office, finding one of those sellers. And now you got 4 of them on the same block. $790,000 on this deal. That's a $24,000 commission right there. But it's worth 5.2 when it's done. That's $157,000 in commissions. That one little house that was on the first slide is generating $180,000 in commissions for that agent who knows what to look for and how to bring deals. There's 4 of them.
Now, what's so crazy is those 4 houses, my friend Grant brought all 4 of them to me, one by one. All right? So he's getting $181,000 for this house with this circle. He's going to get $181,000 for every one of those properties I tie up. And none of them he doesn't have to sell because I'm keeping all of them as rental property. He just made a kill on it. He figured he made almost $800,000 in commission off of one client called Thach Nguyen. And you know what's so crazy? He's learning how to do it in the process so he can do it himself later. This is what when we say we want to help make 1,000 happy millionaires. This is what we're talking about right here.
You ready to fly in the Bay Area?
Come on, baby. I will help you make this money in the Bay Area. Okay.
And people are happy about doing this. So wholesalers for assignment fees,
Oh,
you think
man.
you can make a bigger assignment fee on a $50,000 flip or $1 million flip? You
Right.
bring somebody $1 million opportunity, you can spike your assignment fees. I
Yes.
promise.
Yes.
It's got to be a legit opportunity. You got to know how to do it. People, again, often we had it happen at the break. Oh, you're from Seattle. It doesn't really play. No, it does. I tried to get the San Jose numbers, but I couldn't get them. But here's LA County's numbers. 1,150 new construction units sold in the last year in LA County. The average price was $2.1 million. Keep in mind, we've been talking about $600,000, $700,000 numbers. So add some zeros. $2.4 billion in new construction sales in the last year just in LA County. That's a B billion.
And I'm sure, Evan, it's probably similar right now right, Jeff, in this whole, right, this area, right?
That's about par what our prices are out here.
See? There's so much money to be made, folks. You guys are scratching the surface.
How are you funding the construction?
Say it again.
How are you funding the construction for the road?
A bank.
But you gotta help.
I gotta put, of course, I gotta put 20%. First I buy the land. But like the lady who's gonna let me close it a year later, all I gotta do is get plan and permits. I get the plan and permit, the bank will lend me the money, basically almost 100% because it's plan and permit worth a lot more money. So at the end of the day, I have to put my money down to get the land and the entitlement. Then once I build it out, then I get my money back out. Make sense?
We can't get to all the questions
Yeah.
right now.
But let me just finish the slide, and then we're gonna answer more questions for you guys. But to answer your question, yes. And I use my own money, no investor, just so you know.
But yeah, we're applying leverage. Again, we talked earlier about applying responsible leverage. So leverage is there. We talked about it in the flip. Same model in the new construction. There is leverage. This Grant we've talked about, these aren't even the deals. When he did this, these aren't even it. Grant, within a few months, put $300,000 in commissions to his pipeline. We're going with one seller, him. Multiple transactions, super efficient, high level of trust.
This is not even including the 27 deal I just talked about. This is before the 27 deal. And he's a Keller Williams agent in Seattle. I taught him how to do this. We coach him how to do this stuff. He's in our coaching program, and he go to work at it. And he made $300,000 off 13 deals previous before this, and now he got another 30 more coming on this side of these new ones coming.
You guys, this is right out
crazy.
here for you. So the BRRRR strategy, $100,000. We showed you ways to drive efficiency and you create that $100,000 in addition to your regular business. Find some list backs, let them come, take advantage, save the $100,000. We show you what kind of properties fit the BRRRR and how to find them. We can definitely continue to teach you more about the actual evaluation, what it looks like, and the mindset, skills, and mentorship from people who are actually doing it, right? If you're making this kind of money, you're finding these kind of deals, you're getting this kind of pipeline, you're going to get bankable. It's easy to get the takeout financing. When you're doing this, though, do talk to your accountants and make sure they're not doing too good of a job hiding your tax income.
I have a lot of friends that are just ordinary person just like me. This is my friend Moose, Cambodia, right? He comes from Cambodia. He's just a regular guy. This house here is a BRRRR property he brought to me. And I said, Moose, look, bro, I want to help you. You should buy this, and you should do this, this, and this. Go find your 20%, Moose. Make it happen. And he's like, okay. And I encouraged him to buy it. He bought this, and he burned this whole thing with no money in it. He's making $500-600 in this house, and he had about $200,000 equity on this property. But this is the property he brought me. And since he's a good friend of mine, I told him, you should buy it. Let me teach you how to do it. And he bought this property. He, in the last 12 months, did 3 BRRRR property already. And he sells real estate. He makes $600,000 a year selling real estate. And this is his first one. He did 2 more after this one right here. You guys can see that video on my Instagram account.
And he's going to throw an ADU in the back of this one and
Yeah.
spike the rent to about $2,000 a month in passive income. It's right here.
Yeah.
You want to talk to him about this?
So you got to remember, the 5X basically is how to actually identify what a good deal is, the script to use, the evaluation, right? How to actually have the mindset to do it. That's the whole 5X. That's why someone keep asking me during the break, what do you say to them? The script is all in the 5X, okay? That is what the 5X is for. The Jumpstart is the weekly call that we basically hold you accountable to basically what you want, how many doors you have, how many doors you want, and we're going to hold you accountable to actually get the property so you can get those doors paid off and get out of the rat race. And then, of course, the List Builder is the software that actually identify all the property that can fit 70% ARV. If you knew where they're at, and you got all the telephone number and email, the only thing stopping you now is actually getting out doing it. That's sometimes the hardest thing. Okay?
Can we go to 10-minute Q&A?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. So,
Go ahead.
all right. Go ahead.
For your 7 years, from acquisition to new construction, how long?
18 months.
That's it?
Yeah. Take me about 9 months to get permits, and I'll be able to build the other, 7, about anywhere between 7 to 10 months, somewhere in that zone. 2-year max. Sometimes, delay happen, but 2 year or less. Let me say it like that.
Real quick,
Say it again. That's in Seattle.
I-
I pretty much do everything in Seattle only.
wait, before we take the next question, I want to announce that we are going to do a drawing
Oh,
very
yeah,
soon.
drawing.
Very soon. So don't leave. I know some of you guys are leaving right now. We're going to draw for 6 winners. 6
Package.
winners?
The package.
Yes.
Yep.
We're going to give out 3 of those training, coaching packages.
Yes.
And also, the most important today, the prizes of the bubbleheads.
The bubblehead.
So we're going to draw the 3 winners of the bubbleheads. Yeah, that's right. And I'll throw in the double end sticker that you can put on your dashboard of your car too. Yes, and KB Home actually giving out a gift basket. Thank you, KB Home. We do a drawing for that as well, all for free. Now you guys have to pay raffle. So let's do that right now before we take the question. Yeah.
All right, let's do the raffle first.
All right, guys. I want to announce to that. Thanks to Thach and the team, we have gained 67 new members today.
Holy smoly!
67 new members today. That's awesome. So registration team, can I have a 6 winner, please?
Let's do this! I love it, man. That's all awesome. Guys, I'm telling you, there's so much money to be made out here, man. It gets me so excited when I do these kind of events, talk about this kind of stuff. Look, again, if this stupid Vietnamese kid who graduated with 2.8 GPA, what the hell is possible, man? I always make fun of myself and say, look, I speak half of the time English, half of the time Vinglish, right? If I can do it, I can barely. Where my man that said that Kevin Sertigan told him, say hi. Anyway, what did he say, dude?
Said half the time you're talking English, half the time you're talking some other language.
And if I can do it, damn, what can you guys do? You actually have to speak English well like me, right? Damn, this is crazy. Let's go. Let's wrap
We're doing a drawing right now. If you, just real quick on the membership benefit, and I'm just going to do it now so we don't have to close out later. VNAR have done a lot for the last 3 years. One of the big initiatives that we're working on, we're raising fund for, is our Fight for Hunger program. It's got a third annual. And what Thach says, when you focus your mind there, you can get it done. It'll be real. First year that VNAR got together and said we want to feed hungry people around the world. And the first year we did like 10,000 meals. Second year we did 132,000 meals, 500 volunteer in all within 5-6 hours. This year we're looking to double that, and it's coming up very soon. And on top of that, we also have our next education event coming up very soon. Guys, we all volunteers. Well,